first time, karibu sana. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for just being loyal and just watching my videos. For the support, I really appreciate it. If you're commenting, if you're liking, if you're sharing, thank you very much and be blessed. And with me today is somebody who has been here before, and you've asked me to bring him back again, and I did just that. So before I even call him out, I think he does a very good job of introducing himself, the Luo style. So introduce yourself.
Again.
Yes.
Thank you very much for inviting me once again. My name is Brian Odhiambo Otieno. I am a double O, evening and night. I'm a communications consultant. I do public relations as my main career. And as I said last time, subsect of public speaking. I help people to communicate better, to achieve a mutual understanding. Thank you.
And that is why we have him back, because today we're going to be talking all about confidence. And especially in terms of relationships, because I have seen countless of women come to me, and by the time that they are walking out of a toxic relationship, something that they really struggle with is confidence. And the reason why I felt that you are the best person for this is because you teach all about public speaking, and we know the main ingredient is confidence. And first of all, I just want to ask you, can a person be confident and not confident? And let me explain myself. In that I've found so many women, especially when you're in the public eye, you're able to hold this conversation, talks, be out there, just be somebody that would say is very confident in front of people. But at the end of the day, go back home to this person who is putting you down, calling you names, and be like, I'm not good enough. Is that even a possibility?
Yes, it is. And again, it's very contextual because at workplace, you actually, let's not even call it confidence, it's personality. You could be forced to adapt different personalities. Personality comes from the Latin persona, which means a mask, a mask which you put on. It was actually used to define characters on stage plays, and especially by Shakespeare. So persona, that nowadays we call stage characters. So you could be forced to adapt particular persona when you are on a different platform or a different act. As we always say, the world is a theater, and we are all actors, and we'll exit. So at workplace, as a lady who is being abused at home, you could be having that confident persona because that is what is required of you. For example, you are a manager, you cannot afford to put on the pain. You must put on the confident persona. But when you come back home, it's a different ballgame because you are in your victim persona. And not just because you're putting it on, but because it has been forced on you. So you find maybe the real you is somebody who's always happy. But you've been forced to put on that sad mask, that sad persona, and that affects your self-esteem. So when somebody sees the two people, they'll wonder like, is this the same JC that I meet at workplace? She's so destroyed at home.
And that is why most people would not believe it.
Yes.
Like, how do you go telling people that I'm abused and that I'm not happy at home and that this is not me when I go home? But when you're in the crowd, when you're with your friends, you're just laughing, you're just badly, you're just you. Yeah.
It is.
Which is very sad.
It's a sad reality. But again, as I always say, it comes back to self-esteem. Remember, all these things come back to the brain. The brain is the laboratory for chemicals that control our emotions. We're talking about cortisol, we're talking about testosterone, we're talking about estrogen, we're talking about all the hormones, endorphins that come with love and things like that. Now, when your self-esteem is affected, something that happens, your brain has two main important parts. That is the hippocampus, so people call it hippocampus, that is in charge of memory. Then we have the other one called the amygdala, which is in charge of processing emotions. And so you find that when you're in an abusive relationship, the hippocampus swells. Now when it swells, you may not have a recollection of memory because it will not be functioning normally. And your emotional end, that is the amygdala, will be secreting or will be focused more on the sad beats because
Actually, I've had some
Yeah.
women tell me that they used to experience memory losses
Yes, yes.
when they were in toxic relationships.
it's absolutely normal
Yeah.
because that is it, all these things boil back down to biology, and you find it again in anatomy as we are discussing now, that the brain, the hippocampus part, when it swells, you will have very short memory, and you will not have any memory of good things. In most instances, you cannot even recall names, and I've been a victim of this personally. And I used to be frustrated because I'm not really a very sharp person, but I consider myself of a proper standing in terms of thinking and memory. And when I realized that in particular days, I could talk to somebody and ask, "What's your name?" Within 10 minutes again, I ask, "What's your name?"
Really?
And it used to frustrate me, like the things I used to remember very easily, but at particular points I would get frustrated not being able to recall them. And when I sat with my therapist, she did tell me that it's very normal. Don't worry. Your brain was affected,
Yeah.
and you will heal. So until it goes back to normal.
Let me first ask you this, because this is something that I find very intriguing.
Yes, uh-huh.
You've actually admitted to going to therapy.
Yes.
And I remember also for me when I went to therapy, I had somebody ask me, "So you're one of those people," told me in Swahili, "Yani wewe ni wale watu." Meaning you're one of those people, and I asked them, "Which people?" And they told me, "You're those people who go to therapy." Because there's this notion, first of all, that Africans don't go to therapy, black don't crack.
Black don't crack.
There is also the other misconception about men going to therapy and actually seeking help. So how was it for you?
For me, it was a journey that I wanted to go on purposefully. I've been well aware of mental health. I've been a friend to people who work in the mental space for a long time, specifically Chiromo Medical Group. And so I knew that I was in a bad position. And since I had tried to suppress, trying to keep an image, vis facing reality, I had to seek a way out, both for my partner and myself, because I wanted, as much as we were exiting, I wanted a safe exit for both of us. Let nobody hurt the other. I believe even in the worst state, people still have the dignity, and they should love it as they live. And at that moment, I said, I think for me to also heal, so I don't bleed on people in the future, I needed to go for therapy for myself first, because I was in a space that I didn't imagine I would have been, where I'm having memory loss, where I'm having prolonged times of sadness. People call it depression. And I had to go under medication for depression. And I used to have serious panic attacks. The confident me.
Wow.
Serious. Yeah. And
Would you say that is maybe the thing for you, that the point at which you were like, now I need help?
now, specifically, the point that made me feel that I'm going for the help, I was training one of the UN Somali representative, a very senior communications person. And as I was doing, it was a one-on-one training just like this. Then in between the session, something knocked my head. I won't discuss it. Something came to my head. And I had a serious panic attack in front of my client, and I broke down. And I had to, he realized and he asked me, "Are you okay? Do you need some time maybe?" And I went to the loo. Jess, I was in the loo for about 20 minutes. I couldn't understand what was going on. I just went blank, and my heart was palpitating so much, and I was in a state of shock because of what I had imagined. And actually, panic attacks come out of imaginations and memories. And at that moment, I said no, because this is now going to affect my career directly. And this is one of the biggest clients I've ever had, a UN representative. That was huge, and I said, I'm going for help. And interestingly, it is my partner who I said, because she worked in the mental space. Yes, and she told me, okay, let me get you person X and Y. Let's find help. Yeah.
And how would you say, like, were your friends supportive? Did you face any stigma? Because I know there's a lot of stigma that comes with mental health, especially.
Well, interestingly, this is an oxymoron, but I will say it because, give credit where it's due. My immediate ex-partner was very instrumental in helping me get the help, because she was already in that space. I kept away from friends because there's a way they know me, which I would not want them to see the other bit. So what I did is I took off and went into isolation for about 2 months, just isolated. I had one friend, a lady called Ruth Mbata, who every day, I lived in a hotel, she owns a hotel in Kisumu for 2 weeks, and every day we will sit with her up to 2 a.m. in front of her ground TV, and we would share with her, and the level of support that I got from her was amazing. So the rest of the people would come and they would make fun, and I would also, somehow I found them making fun of me therapeutic. But this is after I had taken my medication, and now I was like, it's fine. It also helped me accept, because these are my friends.
Yeah.
When they laugh at this situation, I also contributed at laughing at myself and stuff. But then my friends were very supportive. I only found one instance, just recently, where somebody was laughing and saying that I was left, etc. And I said, it's okay, you don't understand.
How is that even a joke?
Yeah, she was joking.
Okay.
And it was a she. She was joking, and I learned from a friend of hers, and I said, it's fine, you don't understand. How I wish you could understand.
So how is it that your ex-partner was the one who was really supportive with you on your journey, and then now later on you part ways? Did that affect you? Did that make you want to go back to the old behaviors?
Interestingly, I think my ex-partner was a very genuine person in terms of what she wanted. It was not agreeable by me. And so that denial stage took quite some time. We call it pre-contemplation. Took quite some time. But she was very express on what she wanted. And when the time came for us to part ways, we did have a conversation. It was very painful to me. I couldn't believe it. That that time could come, although I already knew it was going to come. But the reality of it happening was extremely shocking for me. And at that particular moment, when she stepped in to help, I didn't refuse the help, because I believe she was doing it from a good place. And I must give credit for that. Other issues notwithstanding, I must give credit for that.
And that's really good of you, because
It's an oxymoron.
People, when you break up, there's nothing good
No.
I want to see about you. There's nothing good I will even say about you.
There's so
I
many
think
good
it makes you
Yeah,
the bigger person here, especially
there are so many good things. People are amazing. People just make different choices. Some of these choices are not agreeable by us, but they are their choices.
So are you single? Because that is a question that especially in the dating, I think we need to talk about that. In the dating scene, people will be like,
yes,
you compose, you take care of your mental health, you sound like a very solid man. So why are you single? Why would you say you're single? And I know
it's by choice.
It's not even part of the conversation.
But we'll have it nonetheless. It's a choice. It's a choice I made, because I know between now and the time I'll start dating again, I want to sort a few things.
Are you searching though?
Am I?
Are you searching?
No. No. If somebody thinks this is good enough, why not? But I'm not searching.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to give myself as a present to the next person. I want to I'm working on me. Yeah, I'm working on my finances. I had a big hit. I'm working on my finances. I'm working on my career. I've had an illustrious career, beautiful, to the summit. And now I said I've worked for people enough. Now I've started my own in the public speaking training realm. And I want to also take it to a place where it can support itself. Then I can say, Mami Karibu.
And ladies, just say, if you're watching this, you're single. Someone is here ready to mingle, even though he says he's not. So anyway, and let me just say that I have seen some different sorts of men, and I can be able to tell the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy man, and especially a man who is working on himself. That's a very solid man. He's a healthy man. So
thank you.
Somebody out there who is asking, how does a healthy man look like? I have one with me. Talk to me well. Talk to me well. So anyway, now back to the main story, which was about the confidence. Do you think, or how, any advice on how somebody can just create an aura of confidence, even when they've walked out of this relationship and they feel like, I'm done, I don't know even when to start, I don't even know how I can present myself, even hold an interview, recollect myself. can you even fake being confident?
You
First of
can.
all?
You can. I told you it's a persona.
Uh-huh.
Remember
So
this?
which tactics can you use?
Oh, it's very easy. Faking is simply first of all, let me put it as such. Faking is just faking it. You put on a face, and people will believe it. People believe what you give them. Okay, if you give them fake, they'll believe that is the truth. If you give them truth, they believe that is what you're giving
I
them.
would even think that maybe it's even the voice that you tell yourself, because if you're walking in saying, these people know how broken I am, these people know that nobody, my ex left me. I think sometimes even the voice that you're talking to yourself, how you're telling yourself, because I believe for me, during my healing journey, and also you need to tell us just a bit about your healing journey. For me, one of it was how I talk to myself. I would tell myself, despite everything happening, I am loved. When I walk into a place and I feel like I'm very shaky, or I'm going to have a talk and I feel like, no, I'm too small to be talking here, I tell myself, Jacinta, I am loved. Everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody wants to hear what I have to say. And that just changes the whole, my demeanor and even how I'm going to deliver that talk. First of all, how has your healing journey been like?
Before I come to my healing journey, I want to touch this bit of confidence in conclusion. When somebody has an issue of confidence, I want you to know, confidence comes from a point of confiding in yourself, okay, or confiding in somebody else. Now, who you confide in matters most, but especially I love confiding in yourself first. And you must reconcile your desires and your reality. That's when you're confident.
Okay.
Before you reconcile your realities
Desires
and reality.
Yeah. What's the difference?
There's a big difference. My reality today is that I'm a broken person in dating wise.
Why isn't everyone broken?
Everyone is somehow broken, but so many people would not want to accept the truth.
Yeah.
Because when you go for therapy, they first start with your childhood, and you'll realize you're too broken.
Yeah.
You need a lot of healing. So most people will present a picture of, I'm all sorted, I got this, I can love. In reality, you cannot love because you don't even love yourself.
Yeah.
You're too broken, you're too pained, you still have so much things to deal with. But also, in terms of what you promise yourself. So reality, desire is what you promise yourself. Reality is where you are at.
Yeah.
Now, if I promise myself that I'm going to be at your show by 1 p.m., and I'm not here at 1 p.m., I arrive at 1:30, already I'm not self-confident because I'm lying to myself. Okay? So confidence is a very personal issue. It's not about the people. So are you in sync with your reality? Now, most people who are in abusive marriages lose their confidence because they know what they should be doing, but they're not doing it.
Wow. That's okay. That hits differently.
Yes, because you haven't reconciled your desire and your reality. Your desire is this marriage or this relationship should work, but it is not working.
It's not, that's not
So as much as you're going outside there to meet people who are actually working theirs out, you find yours is, you can't be confident to talk because you are in conflict. You're a conflicted person.
You don't even know. And I can actually support you in this, because I remember most Christmases where we'd go out, we'd go even to see our family, and I will put on this front that, I have a husband, I have this man in my life, I have the children, so I'm a married woman in a family. But then at the end of the day, as much as people are contributing about their marriages, I'll be like, I will talk, but in my head space, the back of there's that voice asking you, are you really qualified in talking about marriages? Because you don't even know whether in the next month, there's so many people right now who are in that relationship, but by February they will not be together.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'll be like, how long do I have to put up with this? Am I in this forever, or what's really going on? So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and so once you reconcile that reality and desire, that's when you can achieve self-confidence. Before that, it's a lie. That's the truth. And that's why you lose it. Now, that is very different from self-esteem. Self-esteem is
What's the difference even between self-esteem and self-confidence?
There's a thin line, and that thin line means a lot.
Okay.
And it's in this context. Self-esteem is the perception that I have of myself and of the realities of myself. Two different things. Confidence is reconciliation of the reality versus the desire. Okay? Self-esteem is the perception of myself. How do I perceive myself? If I've been told for a long time that I'm I'm stupid, then I'll believe I'm stupid, and my self-esteem will be low. That's the perception I've given myself. Try to tell a child today that you're stupid. The child will grow up thinking they're stupid. Their self-esteem is low because when they go where people are doing well, people are doing what, they cannot talk. Let me use a very practical example. You go to a place where there are rich and poor people. Do poor people talk?
No.
They don't talk. Why? Because they believe that they are lesser human beings. That's low self-esteem. Yeah. Rich people talk because they believe that because it has been defined that rich people are the ones who own and stuff, can talk. So they talk, and some of these rich people are not even sharp.
That's true.
Yeah, they're not even so confident.
There's a place where I heard that
Yeah.
our countries or our world is going wrong because the ones with the money don't
Yes.
have the ideas.
That's
The ones
right.
with the idea don't have the money,
Yes,
so they
yes,
don't
yes.
have the voice.
They don't have the voice.
Yeah.
And so self-esteem is very important, that once you perceive yourself in a particular way, then that is what will drive you to reconcile
Okay.
your reality and your desire.
Okay.
You want to drive an ML 350 Mercedes Benz. Your income is not, cannot even get you a loan worth 10 million or even worth 5 million. Forget about ML 350. But because you want it and you're not reconciled, what will you do? You start hiring ML 350.
Reality.
You hire ML 350. I don't even know who hires it because it's a luxury car. You'll be hiring at maybe 20 every time because you want to give that image,
Illusion.
that illusion to the public. Yeah, and that's what politicians do. They're not very solid, most of them. I've worked with them.
Wow. I'm like,
Yeah. So once a human being, especially people in marriages, work on their self-esteem, do something called self-affirmation. Self-affirmation in public speaking and in communication is the biggest gift you can give yourself. Just like you're saying, I am love. I stand every day before the mirror, I look at myself and laugh and smile.
who you?
Me. I do. In my bedroom, I have a mirror on the door. Very big, my size. And every day before I leave the house,
Hold on. The concept of every Luo man.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, but I look at myself in the mirror and I admire myself. I love what I see. Like you're good. Despite those bad things that you do. I also know the bad things that I have. But I know and I appreciate them. But I focus on this positive end. I tell myself, go out. Let's try again.
Today.
Let's come back. And when I come back in the evening, and I do myself very simple things like taking myself to coffee dates. I live next to a Java. I go to coffee dates with myself, not with anybody else.
Let me tell you, I have dated myself.
Yes.
I can drive myself around.
Yes.
I can even go to the restaurant. But the hardest thing I've had to train myself is to eat alone. When the food just becomes so uninteresting.
Yes.
When I'm eating it alone.
It is difficult. Eating alone is difficult.
Yeah.
But just imagine you know how it feels to take yourself out on dates. And so one of the ways people can regain their confidence and self-esteem in abusive relationships is by doing this simple trick. Everything that I used to do for you, okay, I'm going to do it to myself.
Yeah.
I used to take you to movies. I'm taking myself to movies.
And just imagine you walking with your popcorn alone.
Yes. Oh, it's amazing. Solitude is scary, but it's amazing once you sink in it.
Get accustomed to it. You're almost like you don't want people around you.
Yeah. Myself, I'm a people person. I love people. I love being where people are. But when I started this solitude thing, it was very scary. Like, oh, will I manage? The house, I used to run away. But now, I love the space. So do to yourself the things, positive things you used to do to the other person.
What about that voice in your head? Because for me, it has always felt like, what will people say? You see, because I love to dress up and to go to nice places, so I'm there seated eating my own food. I think I've come to look for a Kamzungu guy over there.
I mean, what they're going to think is okay, but the most important thing is, what do you feel about yourself? Is it okay by you?
Okay, I'll be looking good.
That's
I'm
good.
enjoying nice food.
I dress. Most of my friends laugh at me. I wake up in the morning, shower, dress up nice, whether I'm leaving the house or not. You just ask me why am I walking my passport. there's a way I like working with my passport. There's a way it makes me feel.
It's like you're ready to travel anytime.
So if I get the chance to travel right now, I don't have to go back home.
I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere is thinking, if only the same way he was walking with his passport is the same way he was walking with the word of God.
Yes.
You'll be ready to meet Jesus.
Yes, any day. So do to yourself those things that you used to do to the person that are beautiful. Like if you used to cook for them, cook for yourself. I cook for myself.
Yeah.
A lot I love. I said today I want to try this recipe and to see how it tastes. I want to take myself out and maybe for a drive, or I want to call a friend of mine and go and treat myself as he hangs around. I'm not treating them, but they think I'm treating them. I'm treating myself as they hang around. So they partake, they keep me company as I take myself out.
You're treating yourself.
Yeah, if you used to, because you'll find in love, love is about service. If you are toxic, you know you are toxic.
Yeah.
So please also appreciate that you are toxic, okay? But if you are doing...
You appreciate that. I think you're just supposed to change that aspect of you.
No, appreciating by recognizing that, yes, you know, that there's this
Yeah.
bit of me that is toxic and...
And I think that is, even
Yeah.
that is what makes you know that you're ready for a relationship. They mean that you can be able to identify which part you played
Yeah.
in the marriage or relationship failing. Now you're going.
We always have a part to play.
Yeah.
It could be very negligible, but we always have a part to
Like we
play.
said in the previous episode,
Yeah.
we need to have a talk about the lessons that you've taken.
Yes.
And even the parts that you played.
Yes.
When you feel ready to walk in those big man's shoes,
Yes.
come back.
I'm ready any
And
day.
if you're interested in listening in this conversation, please, you need to comment down there. We need to know those things.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes a lot for you to admit to yourself that I played this, I did this, and it was not a good thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Whether it was reactionary or offensive, we had a part to play.
That's true.
I admit.
Yeah. I also admit that. I know also parts of me, and to be in a toxic relationship,
Yeah.
there are parts of you that are very toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's the defense part that comes to play also. And there's one that I want to show you. Yeah, that I want to show you thing.
Yeah, it's a survival tactic. And first of all, it starts just as a way of you to try and defend yourself, and then it just becomes your habit.
That's right.
And it's very hard to kick.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so people in abusive relationships, Jesse, can regain their confidence, as I said, by reconciling their realities and their desires. Most importantly, communicate openly. That's why you hear me talk positively about my ex-wife. We had a very open discussion, agreeable or not. It was a discussion.
Yeah.
And as painful as it was, it was a discussion. So can you open up and communicate and let it be known that yes, what you're saying, I appreciate it, I validate whatever you're saying because it is right as you say it. From your standpoint, it's not agreeable to me. I feel you're offending me on this and that. But be that as it may, this relationship can only work if both of us are in it.
Okay.
If we're not in it, then we have to
Go apart.
we have
So
to go
you're going
apart.
together or going apart.
Yes, and there's no excuse about having children. There's no excuse about an image. Don't care about the image. People will.
Because also, I actually did a Facebook Live the other day, and I was talking because I had so many women in my DM say that they have been conditioned or they have been told that you cannot leave a relationship because you have kids. No one will want you.
You should leave the fastest because those children are the ones who are being affected. You've lived your life, my
Actually,
friend.
I told the same exact thing I said. It doesn't make sense for you to stay in a burning house and assume that the fumes will not consume everyone.
The children are choking and they'll die, and that's why most of us are broken because of some of our parents. Yeah.
I think there's no clear way of not traumatizing.
That's right.
Even when you're the most healthiest of a person will still traumatize their own kids.
That's true. That's true. So don't give excuses. See things for what they are. If it is raining, it is raining. If it's shining, it's shining.
That's true.
Take it for what it is, and don't use children as shields, because the children will end up much more broken. Today, single mother-led families in Kenya are at 38.5%. That is almost it is 11.5% shy of the threshold of a country.
Yeah.
If we tip 50%, then it means we are having very individualistic people. Okay, and these women did not choose to go single.
It's really sad. Like, this is why I see kids, including my own kids, they come and then they were doing their studies and they're saying a family has a mother, father, and children, which makes it really hard for even the kids themselves.
That's right.
Because I remember my son at some point, which was so heartbreaking. He told me, "Mom, what are my friends going to say when we first separated? Are my friends going to say that I don't have a dad?" And even despite having the discussion with him that there are kids who have fathers who have traveled, or maybe they have passed on.
Yeah.
Even the therapist told me that does not work that way. Him, he knows the reality of things, and that's his reality, and the kids in his class are saying the very same thing. So it's really hard.
Yeah, and as I said, you remember that once you reconcile this reality and desire, then the children just be confident. So that if somebody tells them, "Oh, you're coming from a single mother-led family," they'll be like, "It's okay.
Yeah.
My dad is not there, but we are there. My mom is good enough, and we are okay in our family." And maybe my dad traveled, or my dad died, or I mean, we have to teach the children that these things happen. But as we teach them that, we must also be cognizant of the fact that a wholesome person comes also from a full family. And a full family is not necessarily mother, father. Okay, we can also have mother and uncle. Or mother and grandfather, a male figure. Yeah, but always, this I will urge single moms and no single dads. Always ensure that if you're a single mom, you have a male figure, could be your brother around the kids, so they learn. For example, men, a man once I'm hit 12 years, he's full grown. And they rarely change from 12 up to 55. We rarely change. We remain the same person. So before 12, try so much to have a male figure around, so that the child can get a mentor. For a lady, you are good enough to be there, but they also need to see the fatherly love and also the discipline, because men, we are more logical, and logic is about discipline. Women are more emotional, and with emotion you can give ways for a lot of things. You can say, you're my child after all. Yeah, but for men, we'll tell you, don't do that. Stop. That's not right. Yeah, and that is it. So telling them that yes, it is normal, that single mother, single parent-led families are there. That's okay.
I think that the toughest thing that has been there, especially in as a single mom, is trying to get this healthy man. Because first of all, and that is a discussion that I know we need to have, can an abusive partner, abusive man, a toxic man, can he be a good father?
It's one of those fallacies I hear. Let me tell you, there is nothing like parenting. I'm not a parent myself. I don't have a child under the sun. Hata wakusingiziwa hiyo najua.
How do you know?
I know.
I thought he's only us as
No, I know. I know. I'm very much at peace with myself. I know. So there's that fallacy of marriage that a child or a toxic partner will be a good parent. There's nothing like that.
I also feel
you're pretending.
Way, but some people ask me, are you the child? Can you be able to tell?
Let me tell you why. Tokenism is not proper. Because if I love my child and I hate you as the mother, what are we doing to this child? Why am I a good parent? Good parentage only comes if me and you are in sync, number one. Either if we're together or if we're staying apart. It's absolutely okay. But let's not pretend when we're staying together that the child, we are good parents to the child. The children can see. I used to see these things when I was growing up in our family. I used to see, and I can tell you without fear, we see and we know. So let nobody tell you that a toxic partner is a good parent.
I feel like if a man can pick up his hand and hit you, first of all, it means that he cannot control his emotions.
That's right.
If you as a parent cannot control your own emotions, how can you teach a kid to control their own emotions?
That's right. And the first school where children go to is the family. Yeah. And so a toxic partner is toxic and they need to go. Let them go out and find themselves. When they're in reconciliation, we can co-parent. It is absolutely fine.
Co-parenting is hard.
It is hard, but
thank God for our kids, because it's hard.
Yes,
it's hard.
It is hard.
Especially with
people are trying to take advantage.
Yes, children are used as flying monkeys.
Oh yeah.
It's the abuse still continues after you've walked out. It's a part that I think most women should know. It's really hard, and you just have to extend yourself a lot of compassion and draw boundaries.
And by the way, let me tell you, Jessie, it is also absolutely fine for, if you realize your partner is toxic, to absolutely block them
and not to
and deny them access.
Some people you have to cut them off.
You must cut them off because it is good for the child.
Yes.
I'll tell the child, hey, your father or your mother is toxic, and you've seen. If you've not seen, it's okay. But for me,
You just have to tell them in a language that they understand.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But now I believe our audience is quite mature. I'll tell them. Tell them in the best way you can of how this is not going to work,
Yeah.
because it is going to affect them in this particular way.
Yeah.
Have a discussion with the children. And by the way, and as I told you, children see these things. I have friends who have told their moms or dads, sitaki kuenda na mami, sitaki kuenda na daddy,
Yeah.
sababu huwa nakupiga ama huwa nakutusi. Yeah.
That's true.
If we had time, I could have told you my experience.
Yeah. We need to have that, because I feel like even my life, I have seen it. Because
Yes.
mostly you find that if you have come in a relationship, you've come from a relationship. Right now, you're dealing with a toxic relationship, coming from an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah,
Most of the time, your childhood was also as chaotic.
that's true.
And same case applies to me.
That's
and I can
right.
tell it also applied to you.
It's there.
So we
It's
need
real.
to have these conversations. And please, just like you said the other time, you want him back, tell us if you want him back. We really need to have these conversations and normalize just talking about life itself, the reality of things, like you said it, and reconciling
Yeah.
the perspective and the reality.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a very important conversation that we need to have. And if you feel that he is the person to have this conversation with, please comment down below. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the red button, the big button there. Subscribe if you want to listen to more of these conversations, more of these talks where we talk about the reality of things. We don't sugarcoat relationships, because this is a reality. They are healthy relationships, they are good relationships, but at the same time we have this very toxic and unhealthy relationship. And if you're struggling, you're in one, you're a woman, I'm your go-to person, DM me, comment, email me, all my socials, that is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm Jacinta Wangeshi. Talk to me, let me help.